Well, October Red, you know what? I really hope everything's set up on this because it looks like.
Double check because I don't want
Nah, it's cool.
to say, oh, you know, record. I'll be upset myself. You know?
You won't be more upset than me, trust me. I'll be going on crying. So, October Red, I'm here with what I will proudly say UK's number one light heavyweight. He makes his return Saturday night. Josh, how are you feeling?
I'm good, thank you, man. Very happy to be in your city. First time I've been actually here to fight in Birmingham, so I'm looking forward to it, man. But like you said, the returns tomorrow night. Highly anticipated. People will be there supporting. The critics will be there too, so it's a good mix.
We talk about the good mix, and I always say that life's about balance. So we're going to touch on the critics because since you've come back, since you signed the contract with Boxer, since you went through the separation with 258, people haven't been, the boxing fans, we're fickle, and we haven't been the best. But the reasons for that are your own, and I think sometimes people think when there's money involved, you should take it. You should be grateful. But your thoughts on that and those harsh critics that, I don't know, just seem to look for problems rather than solutions?
I think that we all make decisions, man. And I think that the ones I've made are for myself. So why would I sweat or think about what a next man did? And those that make it, they've got the time, man. Like, think of your own life. Think about how you could better your life. Better decisions you can make for yourself and your family and whoever else. And that's what you should think about. So, of course, we're in a sport where things are out there about us and people can make comments. I understand that, but I'm very, what's the word? I don't get into that. Yeah, like someone might be like, oh, this person cussed you, or this is what they're saying. Cool. I pick up my phone, I still handle things that I have to do. So, and the thing is, we've all got things we need to deal with. So why would I be then thinking about someone else's opinion about me? It's long, yeah.
And to be honest, you never get paid by other people's opinions.
You don't. And I always make this joke to people. I say, when you go to bed and you wake up and you check your bank app, you make sure you're happy with what's in there. Not what someone that you don't know was telling you to do. Like, just make sure you've gone on your app and you're like, okay, cool, this is what I thought I was going to get. This is what I got. Happy days.
Pavel Stipian is your opponent, an opponent that was going to face Callum Smith, and that's how I thought, okay, I know who he is. It's not someone that's literally come out of the dark. It's someone that we've heard the name before. A comeback fight, because you can't, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you can't just jump into a world title shot after inactivity and the amount of changes that you've had. So talk to us about agreeing to that fight, the processes, and looking at what's best for you in your career.
Yeah, it was the first opponent presented to me, and we okayed it. And like you said, just the history of it, that he was going to fight Smith in March at some point, so he was ready for that. Fighting a good opponent in Callum Smith, so he's of that level, wants to mix it up. And just also from the amateurs, I was just talking to one of the GB coaches, and he was saying, Josh, I told you, I do remember his name, from the amateurs, he did this, that. So it's someone that, again, people may not necessarily know, but if you're deep in boxing, you know. So I'm like, okay, cool, good opponent, and I want to fight a good guy, so we said yeah.
It might seem like an obvious question, Josh, but do you feel like there's a lot of pressure on you because of kind of like your trials and tribulations that you've been through to get you where you are now, to try and solidify it and progress your career? Do you feel like there's more pressure than, say, the last fight that you had with Craig? I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong.
But the thing about pressure is, I always say there's always pressure. Is there more pressure now? Probably. You have to be in that space to feel that pressure. Being online, checking out who and what they're saying. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Well, I'm boxing, tomorrow night? I'll probably come off social media today. Someone else will control my account, because I'm not in for that. I'll stay in my bubble, my zone, do what I have to do. When the lights are bright, then it's time to fight. So I think there's always pressure. I'm aware of the pressure. Like, I'll be honest about it. There's always pressure, but we've dealt with that from the amateurs representing the country. Things that there was no pressure at that time. I was applying pressure on myself because I said, "Damn, I got to do well in this. I have to. If I'm not number one, what's my excuse that the other man was number one and I wasn't?" So there's always pressure. So it's something that we deal with, man.
When you think about your performance, because you're not, I've always said you're quite spiteful. I mean, you sat here now, you've got the beard. We discussed that last time. That was kind of like an amateur thing, but it's still almost like you switch personality. One thing that I wanted to touch on, what I like about you is your ring regalia, the outfits that you wear to the ring. Some of the symbols, I looked at it with the Craig Richards fight and I was looking and thinking, you know, you've got almost the religious symbols mixing with a bit of culture. For those that were interested in the outfit, could you just tell us a little bit about that?
So the pattern, my outfit tomorrow, I gotta tell you, is the best one. I ain't gonna lie to you. The thing is, yeah, every time I get the outfit, I'm like, yeah, this is the best one. But hands down, this one for me, in my humble opinion, I think is the best one. I'm looking at my phone just because I want to give the right definitions for them. So the pattern that people see on the trim of the shorts, that's called kente. Kente is a like a cloth pattern that we have in Ghana. Should have done my research before I got in here, but it's somewhere in my head. But yeah, it's like a Ghanaian thing. It's a pattern cloth that you could say different tribes use and everything. You could say is royalty and everything. So that's a part of my shorts that I cut, that I add to it. It reminds me that, yeah, we're in this part of the world, you're there, but always remember you're from, you're Ghana, man. Like, it just reminds me of home, where I know I'm from, where I have my childhood memories. So when I have that on there and I'm designing things, you have to look for things that inspire you, things that remind you of things. So for me, when I'm designing my shorts, I'm like, what inspires me? And I always think of back home and I'm like, okay, cool. Let me put that on there somewhere. So that's where that comes from. Just to, you know, it's part of the design. I like it. So for me, I'm like, yeah, it looks good.
But it's kind of personal because you have that kind of aura about you anyway, that you've sort of, because of you're religious as well, but you're sort of spiritual, so it mixes in between the two. So it's nice to see that you kind of like pushing that out, because say for example, majority of the kits, you see sponsors, you see names, but yours kind of like has a definitive pattern to it. And it's sort of like you're bringing your home into the ring with you, almost like you said, it's ancestral, it's tribal.
Yeah, man, it's tribal as well. And the symbols on it, I've got it up on my phone, I can explain it a bit. So there's four symbols at the back of my shorts. The first one is the war horn. It's a sound of a battle cry and a defeat for the enemy. So let me tell you about this. In Ghana, there's different symbols and different cultures, and they're all meaningful. And the first one that I chose to relate to is the war horn. Like I said, it's a sound of a battle cry and a defeat for the enemy. The second one is probably the most, not probably, it is the most popular symbol in Ghana. My mate just told me he came from Ghana. Whenever he was there, he was like, oh, that's Buatsi's symbol. And his friend was like, that's not Buatsi's symbol. It's a national symbol. And it is. And it means accept for God. It's a symbol of the supremacy of God. It's giving credit and saying it's God, you know. And the third one on it is the third one, which I've actually got behind my jacket now, is a sign. It looks like a leaf, but it's the sign that says the grace of God. Simply says is a symbol of faith and trust in God. Let me go back to the second one that said it's a national symbol. It's simply saying because of God. So in whatever I'm doing, all the success and the things that are happening, because of God. I'm not gonna sit and say, yo, it was because of me I did this, that. Don't get it twisted. Yes, there's the physical and the hard work that I have to do, the blood, sweat that I have to bleed, and the water from my face, all of that, great. But I always want to give a reference point of where these things come from, because we all work hard, but just not everyone has the same opportunities. So for me, I'm always grateful for it. And the last sign is the sword of war. It says when the king decrees and declares, it comes to pass. So these are the four symbols that I keep close, and I put it on my shorts, and when I look at my fight kit and I'm putting it on, I know I'm going into battle. There's the war horn, there's the two symbols that amplify God and give gratitude to Him, and there's the last one again, which is the sword. And when you decree and declare something's gonna happen, it's about to go down. Yeah.
I know it's like a random question, but I'm interested in kind of like symbols and meanings. And I know that you're a little bit more spiritual and deep, I'll say deep, than other fighters that I've spoke to. But there's another question, I can't take the credit for it. Another question's come in, and it's about why you chose the ring announcer to do the full pronunciation of your name. Talk to us about that. It's like, I don't know, it's like a rebirth. It's like you've been reborn and this is it. But that's just me, I'm weird.
Nah, you know what? I rate him a lot because he said, Josh, like I want to say your full name. I said, wow, that's different. I'm glad to hear that. So my name is, people in this part of the world, they say Joshua Buatsi. Da, 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 da. I'm like, cool. My name is Joshua. Senna in my language means God given. That's the name I was called growing up.
Senna.
Every day, Senna, Senna, Senna. Yeah, that's what. If I go to Ghana today, I don't hear anyone say Joshua. Everyone is like Senna, Senna, Senna. That's all I hear. My second middle name is Kwesi. I'm born on a Sunday. In Ghana, we've got a tradition where there's 7 names for the 7 days of the week. So I'm born on a Sunday. So there's a million plus Kwesis in Ghana, but that's because they're born on a Sunday. And my last name, this side of the world, when I came, my dad says, they're going to say a name a bit different. I said, why? I know what my name is. He goes, nah, in this part of the world, they're going to say Buatsi, but my surname is Buatsi. That's how you pronounce it. So my name actually is Joshua Buatsi. So when I got here as a 9-year-old, I was like, wow, why they say my name different? And they've carried it on. So you know what, to the announcer, fair credit to him, because he came and said, you know what, I want to say your name the proper way. So today at the weigh-in, he said it was good. I know he's going to do better tomorrow.
Wow, what a stunner. And I will, the thing is, why this is interesting to me, you're Ghanaian, you were born there, that's home, and then you came to the UK. I'm from the Caribbean diaspora.
Yeah, okay.
My roots have been diluted down. So it's interesting. Yes, we've got some Jamaican cultures, but the culture in the Caribbean is going to be mixed up with the Spanish, the colonies, and obviously our African roots. So it's always interesting to me to speak to someone that's didn't end up in the diaspora, didn't end up coming to the UK via slavery, but somebody that's still attached to the real culture of their land.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing. And I go to the States all the time, and when I ask some of them where they're from, they're not able to answer it.
There you go.
So and for me, I just appreciate that. You know what? I know where I'm from. I'm from Ghana. I can go to the country and see people just like myself doing the same thing. I look at their mannerisms and I think, no wonder I behave like this sometimes. Like I see it all around, and yeah, man. Like it's, for me, like I say, I'm very grateful about that, because there are people that don't know where they're from, and they don't know what to relate to, or they don't know what people to look at to say, no wonder I behave like this. This is where I'm from. But I'm glad I can say that. And you're right. There's the cultural aspect of it as well. Again, the symbols that I said, it's a cultural thing. Like, and they're very meaningful to myself as a person and as a fighter. So, yeah, man, I'm happy about that.
It's good to know, because from the Caribbean we haven't necessarily got any symbols. We've got national food dishes. So it's a little bit, it's a bit deeper to get into that. Your career path with Boxer, first of all, you know the contract that you've signed, and the reason why I ask this because I'm interested to understand about the business side of boxing. When you signed with Boxer, what is the deal? How many fights do you have to have? How long are you with them? And I say that because I'm hearing so many times that, yeah, they're not actually with us. They're fight by fight, and then they're a free agent, and it gets confusing.
No, mine is simple. I'm not on a fight by fight. I've actually got a contract with them to have X amount of fights, and to have a world title within those X amount of fights. So, yeah, you're right. There are some fighters that are on a fight by fight deal, but again, I'm thankful that I'm in a position where I'm actually contracted to a promoter and a broadcaster like that. And I say thankful because you're right. Some fighters are on a fight by fight. You get paid today, but you don't know when your next one is up. So I'm always, grateful that I'm in a good position.
This journey that you've got going with boxing, I'm going to wrap it up now because I know you got to get your rest. How has it been so far for you? And you can compare because you've come from one side to another. I'm not asking to slate anyone off. I'm just saying the comparison so far. I know it's early in the day. You haven't had your first fight yet, but the comparisons, how you feel as an experienced boxer.
I laugh because somebody asked me that as well, and I was like, bro, I haven't had the fight yet, so give me some time. But in terms of what I've experienced so far, it's been good. It's been kind. It's been nice. It's been warming. But that's what it always is. I won't come and say Matchroom treated me this, that. Nah, they were cool with me. Like the people, the staff, like they were good. I can't sit here and say that they didn't treat me right on fight week and all of that. I can't say that. And boxing so far so good. It's been good. I've been comfortable, been welcomed, made my weight. I feel good. I'm in good spirits and looking forward to fighting tomorrow. So I haven't got a bad word to say about anyone.
I wish you all the best tomorrow night. I'm excited about seeing you fight again. I want you to prove to absolutely everyone you are in fact number one. I'd like to see you fight Anthony Yarde. That's the fight that I've been asking for years.
Many years it's been asked for. And I do hope we can do it, man. About tomorrow, you're excited, but watch out for the kit as well. I'm excited about even the kit itself. Yeah, nah. I was gonna show you a little preview, but I think that okay, cool. So we're gonna wait. Yeah, nah, it'll be sick. It'll be sick, man.
October Red with the lovely Joshua Buatsi. We wish him all the best. UK's number one light heavyweight. The journey continues. Sorry, Joshua Buatsi. Buatsi. Thank you. Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.